Hey guys! In this video we are going to set up a database model for the tasks and learn a little bit more about our choices. What is a database model? A database model is used to describe to a database what information we want to store there, and also to make functionality to interact with it. It's probably easy to understand if I just show you the database for the tasks first. So let's open up the editor and find task/models.py. We can then create the model here for the task by saying class task and pass in models.model. This just tells Django that we're going to extend this class, or at least be using it. For the task I want the title, so title equals models.char field, set the max length to 255. A char field is typically used for titles, names and short strings with a maximum length of 255. So we pass in this parameter because this is mandatory by or required by Django for the char fields. A task should also have a simple description, so description equals models.text field. So a text field can have much more information. You can store HTML here or whatever you want, and it does not have a maximum length. We can though add two parameters here called blank equals true and null equals true. This makes these fields optional, so the user don't have to input anything here. The blank equals true tells Django that it's allowed to store empty strings here, and null equals true tells the database that we are allowing null in the database as a storage. Then the last field for now is done equals models.boolean field default equals false. So a boolean field is either true or false. So when we create this, we just set the value to be false at default. So when you create a task, it's not done. That's why you have this default set to false. Okay, we can save this for now. So next step is then to update the database itself. Every time we create a new database model or make a change to it, we need to update the database. And don't worry, it's just two simple commands. So let's just go to the terminal and stop the web server by hitting Ctrl+C. And to update the database, we say Python 3 manage.py make migrations. This will then create a migration script. And you can see here a little explanation on what's going on. We are going to create a new model called task. When you run this command, Django will also create some new files for us. And these files contains information about the database model we are going to create. And it's just more low-level Python script about the SQL. And I don't want to jump right into that right now. We can just ignore it for now. But even though we now have made the migrations, the database is not updated. So we need to run one more command, Python 3 manage.py migrate. And then this will run the migrations itself. You can see down here, task 001 initial, that it was run. These are things that comes from Django. So usually you don't see this many things happens when you run this command. It was just because this is what the first time we ran this command. And when this is done, a new table should have been created in the database and we are ready to continue. So for many people, the concepts of the models, databases, migrations, etc. can be a little bit confusing. And to make this easier to understand, I just skipped going into the migrations files for now. It's just not very important for beginners to understand, at least in my opinion. We will work more with models and its functionality later in this tutorial series. And in the next part, we're going to start using the Django admin interface and actually add some tasks to the database. See you in the next video.